The kettle was already humming when the grandchildren pushed open the old kitchen door, their laughter drifting in like a familiar song. Grandma Ellie didn't turn right away. She always said a good story, like a good soup, needed a moment to warm up. Come in, she said, stirring the big pot with a wooden spoon worn smooth by time. Then she glanced up, as if she could see you standing there too. Tell me something, she said gently. Have you ever opened your pantry and wondered how you'd make it through the week? Have you ever stretched a meal and hoped it would be enough? She smiled, knowing the answer didn't need to be spoken. You're just in time, she continued. Today's story is about a soup that never runs out. The youngest, Sam, climbed onto a chair. That's not possible, Grandma. Grandma Ellie chuckled softly. Isn't it? Or have you just never tried it? It was the coldest winter anyone could remember. Snow piled high against doors, and the wind howled like it had something to prove. Back then, your grandpa and I didn't have much, just a tiny house, a creaky stove, and each other. Have you ever gone through a season like that? She asked, looking right at you now, where things felt tight, uncertain, maybe even a little scary. She stirred the pot slowly. Money was tight. Groceries had to stretch further than seemed reasonable. One evening I looked into our pantry and saw a little of this and a little of that. Half a bag of carrots, a couple of potatoes, one onion, and some leftover chicken bones. She paused. Be honest, would you have seen a meal or just scraps? I filled a big pot with water and dropped those bones. We'll make broth, I told your grandpa. Real, honest broth. He nodded like I just made a grand plan, and in a way, I had. As the pot simmered, the house filled with a warmth that had nothing to do with the stove. Have you ever noticed that? She asked softly, how cooking can change the feeling of a home. I chopped the vegetables slowly, carefully, like each piece mattered, because it did. That first night we had simple soup. It wasn't fancy, but oh, it tasted like comfort. The next day I added more, some beans I'd soaked overnight, a handful of barley I found tucked away in a jar. Do you ever build on what you already have, or do you wait until things feel complete before you start? The soup changed, grew deeper, richer. On the third day, a neighbor stopped by. Mrs. Carter had run out of groceries, and the roads were still closed. Grandma Ellie leaned in slightly. Now let me ask you something important. Would you have shared? I didn't hesitate. I grabbed another bowl. Sit, I told her. There's plenty. And you know what? Grandma Ellie added, her eyes warm. There always was. By the end of the week, that pot of soup had become something magical. Each day I'd add what we had, leftover vegetables, a bit of seasoning, sometimes even just water and hope. Have you ever added hope to something? She asked with a small smile. It might sound silly, but it makes a difference. And each day it fed whoever needed it. Your grandpa used to joke, Ellie, that pot must have a secret. She looked at you again. What do you think the secret was? Maybe it was the slow cooking. Maybe it was the way nothing was wasted. Or maybe it was something else. Sam leaned forward, eyes wide. But Grandma, did it really never run out? Grandma Ellie finally turned from the stove and ladled steaming soup into bowls. Then she handed one, not just to Sam, but almost as if she were handing one to you too. Well, she said gently, I kept adding to it. That's the trick. She sat down, her voice softer now. Let me ask you one last thing. What are you adding to your life right now? Is it worry or is it care? Is it fear or is it a little bit of faith? She paused, letting the question settle. You don't wait for things to run out. You keep building on what you have. In life, it's the same way. Love, kindness, even a simple meal, they grow when you share them. You think you're giving something away, but somehow there's always more. The children tasted the soup. It was rich, warm, and full of something they couldn't quite name. "What would your version of this soup taste like?" she asked gently. "Who would you share it with?" Outside, the wind brushed softly against the windows. Inside, the kitchen glowed with warmth, laughter, and something deeper, connection. And maybe now, as you sit there listening, you can almost smell the soup. You can almost feel the warmth. And maybe, just maybe, you're wondering, what could you make that never runs out? Before you go, dear friends, Grandma Ellie would never let you leave the kitchen without a warm goodbye. "If this story brought you a little comfort," she'd say with a smile, "then I'm truly grateful you spent this moment with me." Thank you from the bottom of our hearts to everyone who has already subscribed to Moments We Remember. You're part of this cozy little family now, and that means more than you know. And if you're still sitting there, maybe holding on to that warm feeling, why not stay a little longer? Go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss the next story. Give this video a like if it made you feel something special, and share it with someone who could use a little warmth today. Because stories, Grandma Ellie would say, just like that soup, are meant to be shared. Until next time, take care of your hearts and keep making moments worth remembering.